In the 30s, the 10 original regional parks in the Berkeley-Oakland Hills were going to be sold off by the local water agency as future development. And a group of dedicated citizens got together and said, this should be saved. This is too fantastic to be lost to future urbanization. To have that vision in the 30s when the populations were so much smaller is really an incredible vision. I'm Robert Doyle, General Manager of the East Bay Regional Park District. The East Bay Regional Park District is the largest regional park agency in the United States. We have 25 million visits a year. Local people regionally, people come across the nation to visit our parks. We have rare plants, we have rare animals, we have endangered species, and that diversity goes from the shoreline in the marshes with birds and wildlife up into the hills all the way to mountain lions, golden eagles. And that was a big driver in trying to protect and steward these lands, is to save that habitat for the wildlife as well as the enjoyment of the public. I think my biggest concern is really the impacts of climate change. On the shoreline, climate change is that erosion of the shoreline. We have beautiful shoreline parks with great habitat, but that water's rising, that sea level is rising. So we're trying to figure out ways to address that. In that 55 miles of shoreline, we're seeing that our parks are buffers to not flood other areas, so they're even more important than they were. In the hillland parks and the ridgelands, the beautiful ridgelands that we have, my biggest concern is fire. The East Bay is very prone to fire. And that's a major focus of the Park District, is managing for fire. We can't just leave this land alone. We have to manage it. We have to be good stewards, and that may mean that we have to cut some brush. It may mean we thin some forests, create a fuel break. We work with the federal, state wildlife agencies, we work with utilities. The most important thing is that we work collaboratively to protect lives, property, and people, but also protect the aesthetic and wildlife values of our parks, and that's what we're committed to doing.